Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and create a quick little instructional video about this template that I sent out. This is what we call the reimbursements template. The reason why we name it that is because this is your company reimbursing you for things that you paid for personally. So as with all corporations, I try to tell you that we have to keep business and personal completely separate, right? Like if you were to own shares in Microsoft, you don't share your personal bank account or credit card with Microsoft. You get a dividend from Microsoft, which goes to your personal bank account, and then you can spend that. Or if you were to buy additional shares, if Microsoft were to have another actual offering and issue out new shares, you could go buy those new shares, and when you do that, you would transfer money from your personal bank account to Microsoft's bank account. But you do not use your personal bank account to buy things from Microsoft, nor do you use your personal credit card. And so we keep that same understanding for your personal corporation. For your business, we keep your personal bank account separate from your business bank account. Well, that doesn't always happen, right? Like you go out shopping and you forget your business debit card, so you might buy gas using your personal debit card or credit card. And then the big reason why we have this sheet is for your home office deduction. So you should be paying for all of your home expenses through your personal bank account, right? Because you got rent or your mortgage payment or your utilities. Those all need to be paid for using your personal bank account. And then we allocate a portion of those back to the business as rent from your corporation, renting some office space for you to specifically work in, or maybe some storage space. Okay, so this whole template is meant for expenses paid for out of your personal bank account. This is how we capture them. If it is recorded in QuickBooks, we don't need it on here. If you are paying for it through your business bank account, we don't need it on here. So examples of those are phone and internet. I try to tell everyone phone and internet are 100% business use, so you should be paying for phone and internet directly from your business bank account. However, I have columns for those right here on this template in case you're not doing that. Okay, so this is literally for things not paid for out of your business bank account. So if you're paying for it out of your business bank account, don't worry about doing that work. Don't worry about collecting those expenses. We already have them. They're in QuickBooks. Okay, but that's what all of these columns are for, are to help you come up with possible things that you might have paid for through your personal bank account, like a wellness plan, your gym membership. If you're paying for it through your business bank account, don't fill this out. If you're paying for it through your individual bank account, then yeah, put in your gym membership here. A wellness plan are things like gym membership. If you have any exercise classes, or if you're doing any recreational activities like on city sports teams and you want to get when we can reimburse for those, that type of stuff. Fuel, and auto insurance, if you're paying for them out of your personal bank account, or if you accidentally paid for them out of your personal bank account, then fill that out. Most of this should be in your business bank account, so we don't need it. Same with phone and internet. Now these utilities and home office expenses, this whole section right here from G to N or G to O is for your home office. This is the most important part of this template. Okay, so these are your standard utilities: electric, trash, water. Maybe you have home security, other utilities. This could also be HOA fees. This could be a pool maintenance fee. This could be, well, I guess we could go under maintenance would be pool maintenance fees, repairs if you put in a new fence. Do you pay for lawn care? That kind of stuff. That could all go under here. Other utilities, just if natural gas, if you have natural gas, that could go under here. Really, you could add them all together and put it all in one number right here. I don't care as long as you put a number in here somewhere. That's what I worry about. Home or rent insurance. So this is for if you have homeowners insurance and you're paying for. So if you own, a lot of times your 1098 from your mortgage company lists how much was paid for property taxes and homeowners insurance because they're paid from your escrow account. If that's how you're handling it, I get it off the 1098. If you're paying for rent or property taxes, insurance or property taxes outside of your mortgage company, then add those here. And if you rent, your rent insurance payment, mortgage and property taxes. If you're paying for a mortgage, I want your 1098. I mean, that's all there is to it. Really, just put the 1098 number in here. You don't even have to fill this out if you got your 1098. Just send me the 1098. Same thing with property taxes. If you're paying for it outside of your mortgage, just fill that out here. If it's on your 1098 or if you pay for it through your mortgage, it should be on your 1098 through the escrow account, so I should see that. What goes along with this this home office stuff is the square footage. And so again, we have I try to tell everyone the two rules that we go off of, but the two rules are: if you are physically operating your business from that room, then that needs to be 100% business use, or it needs to be able to be made to look 100% business use in the event of an audit. So that, if you're in a spare room like I am, just make it look like an office. If you're using your dining room table, then we might have to put up partitions. If you're filming, if you're a fitness coach and you're filming in your living room, we'll just do what we got to do to make things look as business as possible in the unlikely event that you're audited, and do the best that we can, right? But that's all business use square footage. And then there's storage square footage. That's the second rule. So if you are storing anything that is a business asset and it's in storage, such as in a spare bedroom that's not being used, and even if it can be commingled with personal stuff. So if there's other personal stuff that you're storing in there, great. That still can be business use. So a great example of this for a retailer would be, let's say you have a garage and you use half your garage for inventory storage and the other half has camping gear stored in it. Great, the whole garage is business use. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, total square footage of my home. Let's say I have a 3,000 square foot home, and I have a spare bedroom I'm using for my office. I have a garage that's either full of inventory or exercise equipment or something like that. Great. That's 2 rooms. Then maybe I have business assets stored in another spare bedroom, whether that's inventory or exercise equipment. Depending on what I do, I might record myself doing exercise classes in the living room. I might record myself in the kitchen doing meal prep. I might, have business assets in my closet, such as clothing that it's used for advertising, stuff like that. So, I might be able to, in a 3,000 square foot house, I probably have 1,000 square feet when I count the garage for business use. So I'm just going to put in all that square footage there. That gets me to a 33% percentage. That's how we're going to do our allocation. And so you see when I populate that square footage, it gives me my percentages here, and that's how we allocate it. And so then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to fill out my utilities based on what I paid through each month. Usually you can find those by going to your online accounts where you make the payment. You might have to pull it up in your bank account, but the easiest way is probably to go to the actual website where your account is, like at your electric company or your power company. Depending on what city you're in, some cities you can't access that online, and my city's small and we pay by check. I guess I could call them and get my monthly history. That might be easier than going through bank accounts. But it just depends. And some like security is probably a flat rate each month. That probably doesn't change. And so just come in and, put your amounts in or add them all up and put them down here at the bottom. I don't care either way. Gets us to the number. I really just want you to put some numbers in here that is able to tie back or match back to what you actually paid if we were to get an audit. Now, there is some flexibility here. If you have to estimate because you can't find it, you don't have the time to go through your bank statements, be conservative in your estimate. In other words, estimate low, right? So in electric, let's say you have electric heating and you're in the north, so in the winter it's going to be a little higher, in the summer in the spring and the fall it's going to be a little lower, in the summer you're probably paying for air conditioning, so it's going to be a little higher. So, just kind of average it and whatever sounds good based on, you guys know what your monthly payments should be for your utilities and stuff. And then just fill this out based on, so if I own, I'm going to look at my mortgage, my 1098, and I can put that number in, or you can just give me the 1098. You don't even have to fill it out, and we'll put that in for you, something like $10,000. But ultimately, if you fill this out, you probably have here, and then we've got, you can get to a pretty good deduction really fast by filling this out. Let's say we got some lawn care at $50 a month or something. So there we go. We don't have trash. It's probably $20 a month or around there. So look at that. We fill this out with some very reasonable numbers. These look pretty reasonable to what I see, and we get a $5,000 deduction. At a 25% tax rate, that's $1,200 in tax savings. That's what we want, So this form right here can very easily be worth a couple $1,000s in actual cash tax savings for you just by filling out this home office. And this is exactly why I will not start a tax return without receiving this back. Either an email saying, I'm not filling it out for XYZ. It's probably something we've talked about, and I just need you to send me a reminder saying, hey, we talked about this on the phone. I'm not filling it out because I actually don't work from home or something. And I have a few clients that I know that I'm not taking the home office deduction on, and so I won't. But for the most part, I need that email from you. If you're not going to fill this out for whatever reason, please send me that email. Otherwise, we're not going to fill out your tax. We're not going to do your taxes until we get this back, because this represents right here about $2,000 in actual cash savings. All right, so then let's look at some of these other columns. So we've got the rest of this is pretty much, we got two columns here for health expenses. So this would be your health insurance and medical expenses. Again, I tell everyone, pay for these directly out of your business. If you're not, that's what this is for. So this would be like, you have health insurance through the exchange, and you're paying for it through your personal bank account. That's just the account you had connected or whatever, and so that's what you decide to pay for it. I tell everyone, use your business debit card or credit card to pay for out-of-pocket medical expenses, but if you forgot or you didn't or whatever, great. That's what this is for. This is not for expenses that you've paid for in your business bank account. This is for personal bank account expenses that we can write off as business expenses. And then this last column is like, you went to Walmart, you needed paper for your printer, and you didn't have your business debit card with you, so you bought it with your personal debit card. This is kind of like for a catch-all for business supplies and stuff that you just accidentally bought with your personal bank account. Now, this template is just a template, right? Like, you can manipulate this and change this however you want to make it make sense for you. You can add columns in here. If you want to get detailed and tell me what it is, great. If you want to just net it all together, that's fine. I can't fill this out. I have to have you fill this out, because this is the same thing as, like, I tell you, everybody in an initial consultation, I can't tell you what a business expense is and what's personal. You have to make that decision. I can tell you what makes up a business expense, what the definition of a business expense is, but I can't tell you if you're putting gas in your truck or you're putting gas in your car, which one's a business expense. If we've decided that your truck is a business asset, then the fuel that's going in it is a business expense. I can't tell you if your gym membership is a business expense or a personal expense. I tell you that we have if you're a corporation, you have an employee, we can have employee benefits, and part of that employee benefits could be a gym membership. If you decide you want that to be personal, that's your choice. I can tell you that it makes the definition of employee benefits and we can write it off as a business expense, but if you just don't want to do that, that's your choice. And so that's what, I can't come in and say, yes, that's a business expense. No, that's not a business expense for the most part, because as the owner of the business, you have to make that decision. And that's the same thing that this template is for. This is to say, hey, these are a whole bunch of expenses that we can catch to write off as business expenses. But let's make sure that this is for personal bank expenses only, or personal credit card expenses only. You really don't need to, we don't need to double up our work. I don't need you going through your business bank account to come up with these expenses. I don't need you going through QuickBooks to come up with these expenses. I have that already. Please don't double up your work. This is just for catching primarily the home office, and that's, I can't emphasize that enough. We need the square footage right here, just your total square footage of your home based on the two rules. How much can we claim as business use? Be as aggressive or conservative as you feel safe here, right? Like, we all know the chances of getting audited are pretty slim. Just be as aggressive or conservative as you feel comfortable. And then fill out these home office columns. That's really what I'm looking for. I don't care if the rest of these columns are filled out. I would actually hope that the rest of these columns are zeros, that they're blank, because I want to capture all those expenses in QuickBooks. Which means you're paying for them through your business bank account. But they are there merely as a way for us to say, oh, I accidentally used my personal debit card. Okay. I hope that clarifies a lot of questions that I get about this template. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email, and I will answer those questions as best I can. I really hope that I'm doing this as a way to prevent any calls that we might want to schedule for this, because again, I charge for calls. So if you contact me and say, hey, I'm having trouble with this reimbursement sheet, the first thing I'm going to say is, did you watch the video? Because I'm hoping to catch most of the issues right here in this. And then we can discuss if you have specific questions via email. Anyway, thank you, and hopefully we can have a very productive and much easier tax season than we've had in the past, especially with this COVID stuff. Fingers crossed. Thank you.